One of my favorite games that I played in 2018 was the original Octopath Traveler. I loved the stories, the characters, the visuals, and, of course, the addicting combat system. As soon as I heard Octopath Traveler was getting a sequel on the Nintendo Switch, I knew I had to pick it up. I got the game only a few short months after it came out, and then I proceeded not to play it until November 2024. This tends to happen to me quite a bit when it comes to video games. I usually pick it up and then I proceed not to play it immediately. Except this time it took me a little longer than I intended to get around to Octopath Traveler 2. My only regret was not starting it sooner. They somehow took what was already a great game and improved it in pretty much every conceivable way. The stories this time around floored me. Well, how could they not? There wasn't a single one that didn't hook me instantly. Today, I want to focus on Apothecary Cassie's story, because as soon as I saw the events in her journey unfold, I knew I had to talk about it. As you could probably imagine, spoilers ahead for Octopath Traveler 2. Now, we don't see various precipitation types in the Octopath Traveler series. The only precipitation we see that falls from the sky are snow, seen in both games, and rain in Octopath Traveler 2. In fact, it's a large part of the latter half of Cassie's journey. In her quest to discover her lost memories, she ends up remembering that her companion, our good friend Trousseau, not really good friend anymore, created this poison rain designed to kill people. His intent was to ease people's suffering and grant them salvation by ending their lives, thinking it was the only way to truly help them. Or in other words, he basically twisted the philosophy Cassie and the rest of Air's apothecaries hold near and dear to their hearts, extend a helping hand to all those in need. Upon remembering that he intends to unleash his poison rain upon people that were assembling for a coronation in the city of Timberain, she takes it upon herself to stop him. With some help from people she's met along the way, friends, allies, playable and non-playable characters alike, she succeeds in stopping Trousseau from enacting out his plot and comes up with a cure for the poison rain for the people that happen to be infected by it. While watching all of this play out in game, I was absolutely horrified that someone could use the weather for such nefarious purposes. Like many people out there, I too see rainwater as a source that could give life to the planet. Yet this rain in game caused the deaths of everyone in an entire village, specifically the village of Helix, where he tested the poison rain before he unleashed it upon Timberain. This got me thinking, where did this idea of a poisonous rain come from? Did the game developers simply take the idea of rain and try to make it threatening instead of life-giving? Did they take inspiration from something here on Earth? Well, first things first, we need to be qualified to talk about this topic. We need a meteorologist, someone that studied the weather and what causes it to form. Except, where on earth am I gonna find one of those? I can't just call up my local meteorologist, that would completely dox me. I can't call up a famous meteorologist, I don't know any of them personally. So, who are we gonna call? If we need an expert, where are we gonna find one? Hang on, wait. What are my degrees in again? I only went to college for like 6 years. Let's see, what are my degrees in again? So I have a Master of Science in Atmospheric Science. Okay, that's pretty close to the meteorology, isn't it? In fact, that pretty much is meteorology. What's my bachelor's in again? Oh, right. It is in meteorology. I guess I could talk to myself. It wouldn't be the first time I've done that. Believe me, it would not be the first time. So, based on meteorological knowledge, it's entirely possible that they could have drawn inspiration from a real-world phenomenon, acid rain. But what exactly is acid rain? How is it similar to Trousseau's poison rain? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's take a look. Acid rain forms when sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide are released into the atmosphere and react with other chemicals in the air to create sulfuric and nitric acids. These acids mix with the water vapor in the atmosphere and fall to the ground as acid rain. The acids required to form acid rain can come about from several different sources. 3 of the biggest culprits, at least in our society, are the burning of fossil fuels, the use of heavy equipment, and industries that use these gases in their processes to create a product, such as manufacturing plants and oil refineries. This seems quite similar to how Trousseau created his poison rain. He forms his poisonous rain by burning a fire filled with a concoction he created and released those chemicals into the atmosphere shortly before a giant rainstorm. The wind carried those particles, allowing the concoction to mix with the water vapor, resulting in the rain being imbued with the poison Trousseau created. This resulted in the rain being hazardous to any and all beings that it happened to fall upon. Yet, Trousseau's rain and earthly acid rain have their differences. Despite the fact that both can be formed by burning something, acid rain on Earth has negative impacts on the environment, wildlife, and materials. Trousseau's poison rain doesn't seem to impact the environment, plants, or materials. It's unclear whether the local flora and fauna, or any of the general environment, suffered as a result of the poison rain, since the game doesn't go into that level of detail. On top of that, while acid rain can negatively impact human health, it's nowhere near the point of being able to end someone's life so soon after exposure. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, the sulfuric and nitric acid found in the atmosphere when acid rain occurs can impact our health. Many studies have shown that acid rain can harm heart function, though the most adverse effects occur in those that have heart disease or other heart conditions, which can lead to heart attacks and even death. As if that wasn't enough, these particles can impact lung function, resulting in breathing difficulties, especially for those with conditions such as asthma. However, this is unlikely to result in immediate death for most people without any health conditions. Let's compare this to Trousseau's poison rain. It seems that after people come into contact with it, they'll immediately start to suffer adverse effects. There's black bruising that shows on the skin where it's impacted by this rain. If they're exposed for too long, they die, regardless of their condition and overall health, without a cure. It seems to take a relatively short time for the poison rain to take effect. As we saw the entire village of Helix, people and animals alike fall victim to this rain in a matter of minutes. This isn't quite the same as being exposed to the sulfuric and nitric acid seen in poison rain. If you're exposed for too long, death is certainly a possibility and even a risk, but being exposed to it for a relatively short time period would be unlikely to kill a person. After looking at the facts, it seems that the team could have drawn inspiration from acid rain, given there are some distinct similarities between acid rain and the poison rain. Yet, since these rains are not exactly the same, it seems that the team at Square Enix used their imaginations to create a rain that would be so deadly that it could cause people to fall left and right. They managed to not only execute this idea well from a story perspective, but also from the scientific perspective. The burning of chemicals would absolutely cause poison particles to fly into the atmosphere and mix with the water vapor, causing a poisonous rain. While this may not be a real condition we see on Earth, they managed to understand the science well enough to execute this in-game. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really enjoyed making this content for you, and I hope you all liked it as much as I did making it. I'll see you all in the next one.